GoPro record. Good morning everyone. Well, it's certainly morning as I record this. So I've got my voice activated GoPro on a head mount, so you can get a driver's point of view as I drive my Arctic along the M1. So what you'll be able to see is all my head movements, see when I'm checking the speedo, see when I'm checking the mirrors, see how often I check them. But you'll also be able to see the poor standard of driving in the UK. Thankfully it's stopped raining. So why did I decide to do a point of view video for Ramblings of a Trucker? Because everyone, or practically everyone, has a dash cam now. But you don't get to see it from a driver's point of view. You don't get to see the limited visibility when I look in the mirrors. You see my cameras over there. Got a camera in the passenger step, a camera in the driver's step. See, there's a slow vehicle here. Everyone's trying to move out to get over, to overtake it. Slow down and let this guy out. If they're going that slow, they shouldn't really be on the motorway. So as I was saying, over there you've got the cameras. So there's one in the passenger step, one in the driver's step, one at the back of the trailer. There's also a forward-facing camera down on the windscreen. That's on a 3-day continuous recording loop. So you can see when I look in the mirror, the mirrors need cleaning now. It's stopped raining. We're stopping at the services and clean those. But that's how much I can see. As big as the truck is, that's my visibility. I've got my sunblind down. I'll lift that up. Gives me a better view sideways, because you wouldn't believe what we see when we're driving along the roads. Some of the worst examples, I've seen someone with a bowl of cereal on their lap. This was the driver of a car, bowl of cereal, and they were eating the cereal going down the M4 motorway towards Swindon. I've also seen people near High Wycombe with novels open on the steering wheel. They've got the pages open with the thumbs and they're reading the novel while going down the motorway. Again, the M4, but near High Wycombe. I've seen people applying makeup, people shaving, using electric razors. You notice how often I'm checking my mirrors. I'm not doing that for the camera. It's just how I drive. It's how I also ride. So I used to be a motorbike riding instructor, and as well as having to do my own mirror checks for my own safety, I also had to keep an eye on my students, not only for their safety, but I had to make sure that they were doing their checks. So can you imagine how long I had to look in a mirror just to make sure that they moved their head at the appropriate time? Because you'd have one student in front, one student behind, If it was CBT, you'd have both students in front. There's a couple of middle laners. Big problem in the UK, lane hogging and poor lane discipline. I see a lot of people, they come down the slip road and they go straight to lane 2 even though there's nothing in lane 1. So some of you all picked up that I'm not using cruise control. The reason for that is it's a little too sensitive. This has got adaptive cruise, and so if a car moves across, as they do, they go from lane 2 straight to the slip road and cut across my path. If they cut across too close to this truck, it will panic brake, it will lock all axles up because it thinks that there's a stationary car moved into my path, and that could lead to an accident if the truck behind hasn't got that and the driver's slow to react. That driver could move into me or drive into me. So it's been a while since I've done a narrative drive or a narrative ride. I had to do it as a motorbike instructor when I was being assessed. Just keeping an eye on everyone around me. So now I've got clear of that truck, make sure I'm well clear of him, move across, check my wide angle mirror, and then across into lane 1. In the traffic in front, because just up ahead, this first lane, it becomes the A46, becomes a slip road and becomes the A46, which is the route I'm taking. But before that happens, this services, there's an entry slip road from the services, and you get people jostling for position. So you get people that will sit in lane 2 now and they want lane 1, but they'll leave it until the last second to move across because they suffer with this left lane phobia or lane 1 phobia. They're somehow they're scared of it. Like some people are scared of clowns. Some people are scared to travel in lane 1. And then you get people that come out of the services and they don't want the A46, they want to continue on the M1, so they're rapidly trying to get into lane 2 to go straight ahead, and it's a bit of an accident hotspot, this area. And it needn't be. If people drive according to the conditions and do their observations, that's the thing. So I'm looking now in my right hand mirror, because if it all goes wrong in front of me, and I learnt this really early in life as a motorbike rider, I started riding at 9, if it all goes wrong in front of you, you're either going to get caught up in it or you need an escape route. And that's why you need to keep looking. If it goes wrong, can I avoid it? Can I get around it? And it's not about whether you've got the time to stop, whether you've applied a safe stopping distance and driving according to the vehicles and the conditions. Sometimes you don't want to stop behind a multi-vehicle accident because you could be stuck there forever and a day trying to get around it. If you can take avoiding action without impeding the progress of other people, you can continue on your way and avoid the accident that's happened in front of you. So as you probably saw from the signs, we're now on the A46, skirting around Leicester, in between Leicester and Loughborough. Keep an eye on the silver van, because the white van has lost a lot of speed coming along here. That is now slowing down because the vehicles in front of it have slowed down. I'm guessing they're coming off on this slip road, hence they've adjusted the speed. Now I'll move into lane 1 now that Passat's gone on the slip road, but I need to be careful of my stopping distance, especially as that Transit and the Focus that's following it seem to be unable to do the speed limit for the vehicles that they're in. Lots of mirror checks. So, can you remember how often you should check your mirrors? See, it's different in a truck. Transit. I'm not going to let this point of view video detract me from my driving, so if there's bits of my speech that seem a little bit stunted, it's because I'm concentrating. Okay, so back to your mirror checks. So it should be before any change of gear, before you brake, before you accelerate, before any change of speed limit sign, before any manoeuvre. In a truck we were taught to check your mirrors every time 6 vehicles have gone past you in either direction, or anything bigger than a transit van. Now, because this is how I've always driven, I am so comfortable checking my mirrors this often. And when I look across there, I'm checking the cameras as well as the mirrors. When I was a motorbike instructor and I couldn't get through to some of my students the importance of checking your mirrors, you know, it's in the highway code. You accelerate, before you change gear you should check your mirrors. Same in the car. If you're going from a 30 to a 40, before you go through those signs that define the change of speed limit, you should check your mirrors. So many people get out of the habit, and if you do it often enough, you become really comfortable doing it. So what else am I looking for as I drive along here when I'm checking my mirrors? So for those of you that haven't guessed, punctures. Sometimes brakes catch fire on trucks. You know, the calipers seize or the brake pads seize, they overheat, catch fire, and the telltale sign is a little puff of smoke coming from one of those trailer wheels. I'm also checking my lights. You might be able to see at the back of the trailer there's a little white light on both sides. So it's white forwards, red backwards. But if one of those goes out, it could be that that light has failed, or it could be that all the lights down one side of the trailer have failed. The electrical connection could be a problem. could have degraded, could have water in it, corrosion. Not all trailers have them, mine has. So every time I check my mirrors, I'm just making sure that light's still on. Checking my tachograph. Mirrors, because we're approaching a junction. What are people doing? So I can't understand why the second car in front, it was poised ready to overtake that truck, and as soon as we got past the entrance to this slip road, it moved across. So my experience is telling me that that car is going to take the next slip road, and that's why it's moved across. The transit van that was in lane 2 just behind me, it had got plenty of time to come past me, but it's pulled in behind me. I'm guessing it's going to want the next slip road. Keeping an eye on everyone. Okay, so now we've got a sign designating what the lanes are for. I want the A46. I'm going to Newark and on to Lincoln on the A46. And from Lincoln I'll pick up the A15 towards Scunthorpe. So I can see brake lights up ahead. So the fourth and fifth vehicle, I could see them braking way before these first three were braking. So just ease off the throttle. Just gently using the engine brake and the retarder to slow the truck down. Sun's becoming a problem, so I'm going to drop the side blind again. So, still checking my mirrors going around the bend. I know my distance, and with that vehicle I use my peripheral vision, but I'm making sure that my trailer wheels stay within the white lines. So the Transit that was behind me and that 4x4 or SUV that was in front of me, they obviously anticipated the lanes going in different directions. I guess they do this route regular, so they got in the appropriate lane nice and early. A sign of being a good driver. If you know where you're going, you should use the appropriate lane. Across. Okay. Nice open road, no roundabouts, no chaotic junctions, so cruise control is on and I can relax. So I've got a Land Rover here. I mean, this is a 70-mile-an-hour road. This Land Rover's struggling to get past me, and I don't know why. It's an Audi, not a Land Rover. They're all starting to look the same. The reason I look down into some of the cars as they're coming past is the behaviour as they've been dithering or struggling to get past me. It generally means that they're busy doing other things, usually on their phones or messing with the sat-nav. Okay, back on the cruise control. So lots of mirror checks on the approach to an entry slip, because there could be vehicles that want to join the motorway or join the dual carriageway. They don't have the right to join, but if I've observed that there's space for me to move over, it's courteous, why wouldn't we? Okay, so some of you will have noticed I've got the sat-nav set up. I mean, I do this journey 4 or 5 times a week. I don't need to know where to turn, which way to go, which road to follow. But the line right at the bottom, there's some coloured dots, and that tells me where there's traffic delays, congestion, accidents, closures, things like that. It also gives me an ETA. I know roughly Rugby to Immingham is about 3 hours, but it allows me to plan for my brakes. On the tacho, sorry, on the speedo, I can see I don't need a brake for 3 hours and 38 minutes, but I will be stopping at the next services. Oh, not the next one, the one after this. This is just a small one. The one after this, which is a new one, it's at the 606 junction with the A46. It's a welcome break. They've got ample truck parking, toilets and showers. So it's better equipped for a truck to pull in and have a break, rather than this one that doesn't have any parking, it just has fuel pumps. So if you wanted to stop there to go to the toilet, your only option is to block the fuel pumps. It's not fair.